me 2 ticks and I'll be with you. Before we get into it, let me just tell you who I am. My name is James. I come from a fairground family, travelling showman. I'm the 5th generation on one side of my family, 4th generation on the other. However, I don't travel on fairgrounds anymore and haven't done for a long time. In fact, the name the Sand Scratcher comes from showmen themselves who give it to others, who stop travelling and go down the coast to scratch a living. And in fact, I was born down the coast. I was born in Essex, and my dad at the time had an amusement arcade in the casino at Canvey Island. So I was a sand scratcher from the start. Now then, do you remember when we were in lockdown and we had nothing to do and we were sat watching telly all the time? Well, after a while I got really fed up with that, and so what I started doing was hunting about on YouTube and watching different things. I watched blogs for amusement parks, I watched tutorials for desktop publishing, I watched a program called Living Big in a Tiny House, that was really good, and I just watched loads and loads of these things. And what I found was, in time, I was looking at it and noticed something. Everybody's younger than me. Anyway, I quite fancied having a go, but I didn't know what I was going to say or whether anyone would want to watch. And I thought to myself I might like to speak about me, about different parts of my life and how I see the world, and not only that, but how others see people like me and people of my age. And I found myself wondering, could I actually do it? Over the last month or so, I've started looking around and I've become more interested in doing one. And besides, why should all the young ones have all the fun? And then I was starting to think back, and I thought about when I was a teenager and how I used to talk to the old ones on the fairgrounds, and they used to have their stories to tell. And now when I look back, I wish that I'd listened better, and I'd even recorded it, in fact, so that I had them to remember. And so what I did, I started looking around YouTube and that for vlogs of people that were telling their stories. I found a few, and that gave me a bit of hope. I've got to say, I've missed doing creative stuff. Up until 2017 I was doing radio shows. After that I thought I'll do myself some sign writing while lockdown was on. I started doing that, but my garage is either too hot or too cold, so I got fed up with that. Then after that I thought to myself I'll design some posters. I bought some software, put it on the computer, started designing, and then I realised that my computer is that old, because the more complex things got, the slower it started to go. And now though, I've decided that I'm going to have a go at this blogging, because if you know me, you're going to know that I've got things to say. I want to leave you with this story from when I was a child. Do you remember a thing called the Bullworker? Well, my brother used to have one of them, and as a little boy, I wanted to play with it, and I'd do all this and do all that. And I wasn't very strong, so it really was a struggle. One day, I'd taken it into my bedroom, and instead of doing this and this, because I couldn't really do it, I did this. I had it pushed onto the floor, and I was pushing it right down. And all of a sudden, my mum shouted, "James, tea's ready." And I let go. It came up, hit me under the chin, knocked me onto the floor, and that's how I came to be beaten up by a bullworker.